News Link Zoom Room. Tasi Ada from Taste with Toss, and we got a new episode on the KUAM podcast network. Toss, good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
We're doing pretty good, right, Jay? We're okay. Mental health's good.
Yeah,
Good. Right on.
we're hanging in there.
Toss, you got a new episode, and this one
Talking about fractals and like Winamp
I know, I was like
visualization.
waiting for it. I was like, wait for it. Somebody say it. Somebody say it.
You know what we got to do? We got to start a Patreon account of just like the stuff we talk about during the commercial
yeah,
break.
the tidbits, right?
That's the real goal.
That's the get one of the show.
That's the fun stuff.
Tasso, we're focusing on the Mapotgi in this episode,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. All the pregnant ladies, all the mamas, whether a first time mama or if they've had multiple children, whatever the case may be. But that's kind of what I wanted to start segueing into as I place a little bit more focus on this specific population here on Guam and whoever decides to reach out to me outside of Guam too. So
Right.
um,
It's I mean, just stereotypically, right? When you think of, and I have 5 kids, so I have a little bit of experience with dealing with women who are pregnant. But a lot of times the stereotype is it's like, okay, I'm pregnant, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want, or just deal with it after the baby, right? But that comes with its own set of problems, which you're trying to mitigate, right?
Definitely. So really just trying to educate our community and then also give them an option to take control of their health during this special time. And I mean, for a lot of women, it is a time to take some positive health changes, lifestyle changes, things like stopping smoking, not drinking for 9 months. And so why not add on things like maybe increasing our level of physical activity. And like you had said, being a little bit more intentional with what we eat, because now we're eating for 2 and what you eat, baby also eats. So kind of putting all of those things together and just giving women who maybe have never had any type of formal education on what to do when they're pregnant, how to exercise while pregnant. So finding a way to kind of give that to our women here.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what my next question was, how do you exercise when you're pregnant? And how hard was it for you to kind of, I mean, I don't know if there was like existing programming out there, but how hard was it for you to kind of come up with movements that benefit pregnant women that they're comfortable doing?
And so early on, I mean, I've only started to work with pregnant women later in my physical therapy school programming during my clinical rotations. And luckily, I was alongside a PT who had a lot more experience working with this specific population. But when you're faced with something like that, of course, it would behoove you to take responsibility and do your due diligence, doing research, and so kind of made it a point to even create some sort of education piece on that, not just for me, but for the other providers in the clinic, because there will always be pregnant women. They're not going anywhere. And I think it's about time that we are better equipped to address their health concerns. Because like you had mentioned earlier, there are certain risks associated with being pregnant. So things like preeclampsia, which is just a fancy word for high blood pressure associated with pregnancy. Gestational diabetes, same thing, it's diabetes, but that comes on or is induced with pregnancy as well. And then there is such a thing as excessive weight gain. There is a way to gradually gain weight in a healthy manner and or dependent on where you are weight-wise, finding that happy medium to make sure everybody's healthy and ready for labor and delivery, because it is an intense time and it requires a lot of effort on mom's part. So.
And do any of these exercises that you do help strengthen mom for labor and delivery?
Yes, exactly. So I think once we kind of learned a little bit more about the changes that mom undergoes throughout those 9-10 months, whatever the case may be, that just gave a little bit more perspective of, okay, so their weight is distributed differently. They have more laxity in their ligaments and their joints. And so what are things that we can do to combat that? So things that are more stabilizing. So exercises that focus on better managing their positioning through their posture. But then also other things that will always be beneficial. Things like squatting, things like picking things up from the ground. So similar movements like that of a deadlift, and not necessarily using a barbell, but using similar type movements with whatever is appropriate for mom. Because baby weighs quite a bit, and all the other things that come with baby, car seat, diaper bag, your things. And so making sure we're ready for even what comes after. But at the end of the day, it's a highly traumatic event. They're going through bouts of pushing down hard, and they're having to do that every 1 to 3 minutes. And so you think about, okay, what's similar to that outside of labor and delivery? So high interval training, and granted, we're respecting certain things, right? Their symptoms and how much effort they're willing to put out and what is perceived as hard for them. So everyone is different, but we all have these standards that we can use to help them better gauge what is appropriate for them and their pregnancy. So.
You know what I thought was cool, Toss, was you're making these little videos, right?
Yeah.
Demonstration, demo kind of videos, and we actually have one here. So how do you want to do this? You want to?
Yeah, no, go ahead and show it, and then I can kind of give my little spiel about it.
Okay, so here we go. So Toss, how many of these little videos? If you could just give us a little description of what I'm about to play.
Oh yeah, so I think I gave you the split squat. And I actually have Mia, who was on the episode, the Taste with Toss series, is the first of its kind. And so she was in her 3rd trimester, I believe, in that video. That's one of, I believe, like we've done about like almost 70 movements to have some sort of variation for all levels of activity, all levels of athleticism for moms to kind of use, whether they want to progress it or regress it, whatever the case it may be. So we're trying to create a library, an exercise library for moms to eventually access through online programming, because a lot of times you can program things, they're videos, but it doesn't look like mom, or they don't move like mom. They're not pregnant. So if a back squat is different for a mom because they have to widen their stance, maybe decrease the depth or use some sort of support depending on what trimester they're in. So
I totally feel you on that, Toss, about these demo videos, because I go to custom and I'm on this app, True Coach, and so Coach Ryan will put in these different movements, and sometimes I got to look it up on YouTube. And you're right, the people in the demo videos never look like me. They're all like freaking ripped up and buff, and they're like, you know what I mean? And I hate it. So I don't know.
But even for me to do it, it wouldn't be meaningful because I'm not pregnant.
Yeah.
Mia's pregnant. She's in her 3rd trimester, very visible there. And then it's just so empowering, like you said, to see somebody from Guam or who looks like you and is also pregnant and doing these movements. I think there would be more adherence to exercising in that way. So we thought it was really important to create our own library.
Can you kind of walk us through the split squat and the benefits of it?
Oh yeah, so for the split squat, biggest things for when we program, we want to look for pushing activities, pulling activities, carrying activities, as well as single leg activities. So here it's very important for moms to build their lower extremity strength, so the hips, the thighs, the lower limbs, whatever the case may be. The single leg squat or the split squat is really important in developing from side to side if there are any type of, not necessarily compensations, but differences from side to side that maybe down the road as she continues to grow, as she continues to care for baby, will start to become more of an issue. And we want to make sure as she's caring for baby, because that's the priority, that her body is more prepared for that. I mean, there are so many different things like transferring of load, making sure the ligaments are stable and controlled throughout that motion, because it is a little bit more complex compared to a regular squat.
Yeah.
But it's also friendly to moms, meaning she's not doing a pistol squat where she's on one leg and she has to go all the way down. She can control the range But you're getting way more bang for your buck versus having her try and do a back squat, which may not be appropriate for her in the third trimester.
I know, Jason, did you have a technical question?
Mia looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
like
I
doing
never look
too.
this happy when I'm doing a split
Yes.
squat.
Yeah. Tas, one thing I wanted to ask you is, like, you've shared with us on this program, your one of your specialties, one of many, is, also working with athletes and everything. So, what advice or like, how do you like structure a program for women who are expectant mothers, but they're used to, they're either finely tuned, like athletes, or they're used to competition, or they've spent like years and years and years like having a certain workout routine or certain training regimen and everything like that, and then they also have to incorporate in their pregnancy, and like you said, they have to respect the fact that they are carrying like another person inside them and everything. Is that a particular challenge for you designing a workout program?
I think if there is ever any type of issue, it would be just because we can do it doesn't mean we should. And recognizing the body is going under a lot of dramatic changes in a short period of time, because before that, your body has just been your body. But now we actually have hormonal changes, ligamentous changes, center of mass changes, and you're continuing to gain weight in this period. So recognizing that we have to respect those changes, and not necessarily changing everything dramatically, but it just might mean we have to modify certain things for the time being. So things like a push-up, we can't just be, or a burpee, we can't be doing burpees.
Oh gosh.
No,
I know some.
Most moms know that.
Yeah,
Most
I know
moms
some
know
female
that.
athletes, and they're like, "Oh man, I can do a plank, and from now until like next Thursday."
But they still want to do those types
Yeah,
of things.
yeah.
So to make sure that when they exercise, because exercise is more than just improving your fitness or improving your strength, whatever goals you might have, it's also for your overall health and well-being, making sure that you feel good. And if your workouts don't necessarily look like what they looked like before, that does play into how you're feeling about your pregnancy, how you're feeling about yourself.
Is it more conducive for the health of the baby to kind of like like again, if a female competitive athlete is used to exercising at a certain tempo, to kind of like transition into something so that the baby can be like as healthy as possible? Because I mean, I don't want to say like the muscles would atrophy, not at all, but you're used to like tuning them and possibly going hard, like you said, every single day, and now you've got to
what he's trying to say, Toss, is like if you have a mom who's like really, really active and then she gets pregnant and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got to scale everything.
Yeah.
How do they handle that?
dial it
Yeah,
down.
so I would say like it's never, if it is scaled, it's never a dramatic scale. I mean, we've had many a pregnant moms here through Custom Fitness work out, exercise all through their into their third trimester, doing even the regular classes here as well as my glute camp. I had a pregnant mama participating in that as well, and really they know their bodies better than I ever will. If there's something that they want to address with me, like saying, hey man, I don't know about this movement, then that's when we decide to scale back. But otherwise, if they have been training in this manner, if that is their normal, that is provided they have a healthy pregnancy and not a high risk pregnancy, that it's completely appropriate for them to continue on. And then of course, as they grow, as the baby develops and certain things change, like you can't just do like a barbell snatch or a clean and jerk because you have baby there. That, okay, what are other options we have? Well, we have kettlebells. You can still get a workout doing the same type of movement with a single arm using the kettlebell versus a barbell. So the intensity changes, but only based on what they're able to tolerate during that phase of their pregnancy. But it's still intense. And at the end of the day, they have increased load in their body themselves. So a 135-pound back squat is different now that you have excess of 20 pounds in front of you. So that's no longer 135 pounds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Toss, I know there's a lot of the Mapotgi listening right now and wondering how do they kind of get a hold of you and maybe get into some of this programming. I mean, it sounds great for you know, a lot of times moms, they go to different classes, they meet other moms, maybe like a friend thing, they go down and check you out at Custom. How do they get a hold of you?
Oh yeah, so we have multiple IG handles, CFG Physical Therapy, there's Decon Tasi, mine, Custom Fitness, there's also our Claris for Ryan, the other therapist here. And then we have the business WhatsApp that's also available on the IG handle, particularly CFG Physical Therapy. And I believe the number for the office is 990436. So those are different ways. We also have emails and business cards.
Right, but stroll by. They're in Anigua, and just so you guys know, it is Custom Fitness, and they do have a lot of great custom fitness athletes. But they also do, and maybe some people don't know this, a lot of great physical therapy work with people from all walks of life. Right, Toss?
Definitely.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about the episode. We do have the clip that we're going to play. Well, you kind of did tell us about the episode.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, we basically talk about how Mia and I met and how we developed a relationship and how she helped me with that exercise library. Excuse me, and then basically seeing her from while she was pregnant up until after she was pregnant. So focusing on that postpartum care as well, because that's definitely been a hot topic as of recent as far as what needs to happen for mom once she's given birth, because her priority is the baby, but we also still need to prioritize her health, because if she's not healthy, if she's not equipped to take care of baby, then baby is the one who kind of suffers those repercussions and those consequences.
So the programming doesn't just happen when while they're pregnant. There's also after programming.
After, yeah. Okay. And so that's what's great about having physical therapy here, because then other types of conditions or symptoms may present itself once baby is born, and that's like that, particularly with labor and delivery, and even during pregnancy. But most of it is really just programming and coaching that helps them during that phase while they're pregnant. Yep. So we have exercising, coaching, personal training, programming, and then that postpartum rehab through physical therapy. Yeah.
That's it. So we're going to play this clip. Toss, thanks for your time. I know you got to get a workout in, so we appreciate you coming on this morning.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me.
Of course. We'll see you. Be safe. Have a good workout.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, there you go. So we're going to play this clip, and then we're going to jump over to KUAM TV right here on the link, which is brought to you by Pacific Points, Gavo Enterprises, ITD, and Jack in the Box. Good morning.
Ready? Welcome to Talks with Toss. The taste was muted off, and we got to a point where I had to come in and actually do demonstrations for exercises. That's in the works, but really trying to create something for all pregnant women where they can exercise in the comforts of their home and do exercises that are safe and appropriate to prepare the body for labor and delivery. Because and we got to a point where I had to come in and actually do demonstrations.
That was the latest clip from Talks with Toss, Taste with Toss. Now she was a Jamaican girl in Mungie Town. Jason, where can they get that episode, bro?
And it's live right now. We're actually going to share it on our timeline on Facebook later on. I think I got it set up for the weekend, but if you can't wait to avail of Tasi's, just like, her motivation, her inspiration, the information, all super, super cool stuff. And you know what? Tasi is really that